Hello, everyone. Welcome to week one of CE 187. It's one of my favorite topics, and I'm guessing it's going to be one of your favorite topics, the menu. I love it. My name is Chef Rachel, and I get to be your chef instructor for these weeks together in this class. And it's going to be fun, and we're going to go over a lot of great information and information that will help when you eventually have me again for entrepreneurship. So, ta-da, don't worry, you won't have me just once. You'll have me again. It'll be okay. And we also have my partner in crime, and I'm pointing this way because Chef Eric, you are this way.
That's actually very correct, Chef. Oddly enough, it actually works out very awesome because you are actually, that way. You're that way on my screen. So yes, I am Chef Eric. Some of you may have met me from way back in the day in like maybe a CA 121 course or even like a CU 101 course or even orientation. I kind of I'm all around the board. So it's going to be a pleasure to help and assist you guys as well as Chef Rachel over the next 6 weeks. So let's have some fun. We also have our wonderful tutor here. She is amazing, our amazing Chef Sydney, and she is actually to the other side of you on my screen, Chef. So to that way, over there to Chef Sydney. Welcome, Chef.
Sorry, my computer was giving me problems unmuting there. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you. I'm Sydney Wilson, and I am a tutor here at Escoffier. I am here for the sole purpose of helping you out with whatever assignments or any issues that you might be having. My information is on the class page. There is a link to my calendar, which will give you options for appointments, as well as my email and phone number. Feel free to text me. I will get back to you a lot quicker than I will with email, just a heads up. So I know that y'all have been going through a lot of different courses and there's a lot of anxiety when you first start, but this is a really awesome class and you're going to learn all kinds of really cool stuff. This was actually one of my favorite classes whenever I took it, which was last year. So everything you're going through, very fresh in my mind. So I totally get it. So if you need any help or have any questions, besides Chef Rachel and Chef Eric, reach out to me. That's what I'm here for.
Yes, and I will show you in a little bit where you can see Chef Sydney's contact information on the main page, because it is right at the top on the main page for you guys. Now, to do a little, but before we show the main page, we're going to do a little introduction. So for those who have not seen me before, I was born and raised in Massachusetts. I actually did not start off loving culinary. I had a love of horses, and I went to school for horses for equine teacher trainer and facility management. And then the higher up you got, the little crazier people got. So I switched for the other form of crazy, which is culinary, but we're not crazy, we're just quirky. That's how I like to say it. And so I went to culinary school. I went to Le Cordon Bleu, and I was able to go all over the world because this certificate, what you guys are doing, it has so many different possibilities for you, and you can do it anywhere. And that's the beauty of it. You're getting that foundation, and you can take it and really grow and make it your own. So I have traveled and I've lived in Australia, New Zealand, and parts of Europe, England, all over. And then I came back to the States, did not want to deal with another New England winter. So I went out to Colorado to visit friends and stayed. So been out here ever since, and I have done every job you can think of in the kitchen. I've been a pastry chef, cake decorator, baker, line cook, catering chef on site. Done it all up until I did what I wanted to do, which was be a general manager and executive chef of a bed and breakfast. And it's not that rinky-dink bed and breakfast that you may think of, like the one room. No, we had 2 houses, we had an event center, we had conference rooms. We were busy. And in between then, I went through, got my bachelor's, and I also in business, and I got my master's with a concentration in entrepreneurship. So for those who have issues with time management, don't worry. I have definitely been there. And like Chef Sydney and Chef Eric, we are here to help. So please let us know if you run into issues. And in between how I started to teach is I got married and had a little boy, and I decided to switch, which is what you can do. You don't have to be in the kitchen. You can go off and do all sorts of fun stuff. Like I have a friend who's a food stylist, and she does all the food for like, Outback Steakhouse and Kraft and like all those type of advertisements. You can be like a blog writer and like work for my dream job, besides this one, American Test Kitchen, be one of their like test cooks, that kind of thing. You can do that, and it's a fabulous industry to be a part of, and we're excited that you want to be a part of it with us. Now, Chef Eric, you want to do your little intro?
Okay, a little quick tidbit about me. I am born and raised Detroit, Michigander. At age about like 22, I decided to get out of Detroit and kind of start to see the United States. Well, I didn't really get to see most of the United States besides just driving from Michigan to Colorado, as to where I moved out here because I got the opportunity. My mom said, "Hey, I'm moving in 2 weeks. You want to come or don't you?" I said, "Okay, sure. Let's get out of Detroit. Let's do this." So 3 months later, after I moved to Colorado, my mom left me all by my lonesome out here in Colorado, and I have been here ever since, and I love it. 17 going on 18 years, as to where I originally went to art school for graphic design and illustration. And as a job, I worked in the restaurant industry, doing bussing tables, bartending, serving. And then, I was like, one day the chef walked up to me and he was like, "Hey, Eric, you want to, kind of work in the kitchen a little bit too? You're kind of an all-around guy here at the restaurant that I worked at for like 3 years." And that's when I started my culinary position. And I started working in the back of the house as a dishwasher, then moved up to prep cook, then line cook, then got as high as a sous chef, and interim chef is what he called it one day, and was like, I had everybody. I was like 19 years old first in Michigan, and then 22 moved out to Colorado. First position was in Michigan, then Colorado. Ski instructed, done all sorts of other things, test the waters. And then I, fell in love once I worked at this one establishment called Bloom. It was like a fine dining establishment, and they were very artsy fartsy with their plating and very clean and very direct. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I'm like, I'm really curious, got more and more curious about food, and loved it ever since. And then I decided to get that certification because I wasn't moving up any higher than a sous chef. So I was like, okay, you know what? Nobody's looking at me to be like, I've got all this experience now, 10 years underneath my belt, and nobody wants to, hire me on as an executive chef. I can't get any higher than a sous chef. So I'm going to go back to school. And that was when Escoffier started their first online program. And I was part of the first graduating class of, I think we had maybe like 20 students that graduated that year, because I think my class was full of maybe 50 tops, 50, maybe 60 students. As to where now you guys can see, we got 30 of you here tonight, and probably at least almost maybe 100 more of you in this class total. So we have grown, and I am happy to be back here with Escoffier, as to where, just like Chef Rachel went ahead and decided to switch when she had kids. Well, so did I. I switched the position from being executive chef and banquet chef, executive chef, I've done it all since I got my certification, and I love it. And now I've settled down here at Escoffier for the past 2 years, as to where my baby now turns 2, 4 days before my 2-year anniversary here. So it's going to be really awesome. And I can't wait to help you guys along through this menu class, because this is one of my favorite things because of my art background. When it comes down to typography and graphic design and illustration, these are things that you're going to want to be constantly thinking about when designing your menu.
Nice. Nice. See, this is why I love doing live sessions every single time, because you learn something new. So I got to learn, Chef Eric. I did not know that you went to school for art. So see, learn something new. Everybody learns together, right? Chef Sydney, did you want to say a little bit about your background, where you're from?
Sure, I can do that. I don't have nearly as exciting a backgrounds as either you or Chef Eric. I am very much a Southern girl, and the majority of my whole life has been spent in Texas, where it is always hot. I'm currently way down here in the South, just past San Antonio. So it is about 1,000,000 degrees every day. The benefit of that is I never have to wonder about what the weather is going to be like. It's always going to be hot. Very simple. I like that. I actually started in the food industry whenever I was 17. I started at the Black Eyed Pea, and I worked my way up from being a hostess to a QA to a prep cook to I've worked every little bitty station inside of a restaurant, and I've always loved food. I started cooking whenever I was like 7 with my grandmother, and whenever I was younger, I decided I'm either going to be a chef or I'm going to be a zookeeper. Which one is going to win? It ended up being the chef. So I really love the entire industry. I love talking about food. I love making food. I love looking food. I really love to eat food. And I really love the opportunity I have to share this passion with everybody else. Everything about it, it's so fulfilling. So like I said, my background is not nearly as exciting, but I am just brimming with excitement to be able to be involved and to help out in any way I can with your particular journey and where you want to go. That's why I'm here, and I'm so happy to be here at that.
Thank you, Chef. And I do want to mention, because it showed up in the chat about your externships, you can, in fact, you have plenty of time, don't worry. And you can, in fact, contact, I believe it's Career Services, but for those who are watching the live session, oh, yep, Chef Eric is nodding his head, yes. It's Career Services. And for those who are watching the live session archive, do not worry. I will send out a mass email about when the live session archive is available, and I can attach that information for you guys. So if you do have questions, you know where you can contact. So, or Chef Gina, as Chef Eric said in the chat, correct. And they will be able to help, and I can give you guys that contact information. Now, let's check out your awesome main page, because it's exciting, right? So right up here, you have your syllabus up here. If you have any questions, anything like that, found a cool menu that you liked online, you want to share it, you can put it in here. Go ahead, throw it in. Nice little discussion area for you guys to really be able to enjoy. If you find one that you didn't like, that it was a terrible design, pop it in, and then the whole class can see it and we can talk about it. So use your class cafe. It'll be fun. We also have Chef Sydney. Her information is right here for you guys. So all of it's here. You can click on this link and you can even schedule your free tutoring session. So all of that information is right here. If you see that delightful blue semicircle right here, you can find my information and Chef Eric's information. Please remember that this 970 number is a text-only number. If you call it, I will not get it. So that is a text-only number. If you want to call, you can use this 720 number. Also remember that if I'm calling you, do not worry, I am not a solicitor. I am your chef, check saying hey. So remember that. And Chef Eric, his info is right here, and his is a text-only number as well. So please, and text is the easiest because, you know, I'm running around, I got my 5-year-old, and I can easily answer a text. And then if you need to talk, just say, hey, can you call me? And I can jump on and give you a call. You can also email. Our emails are right there as well. So this week, we got some fun stuff to do, right? We have your lessons. You have your creating your menu. Remember, these lessons are worth points. So do the lessons. It's a silly way to lose points if you don't do them. So get your lessons done and get them done early. Get them done like, you know, like after our live session, during, you know, on Friday, something like that. Am I right, Chef Sydney? Oh, it looked like you had something to say.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with you. You're absolutely, I was just saying, you know, like today, that's all. You're good.
Okay. You had that like, oh, so I was like, oh. So yes, get those done. Right here, I highly enjoy using slides. I'm a slides person because I love the visual. Also, my slides, some of them will actually contain links because I know that, you know, you may not be able to have this portal for after you are done with school, but you can make a copy of my slides and have that information for you to last. So when you're thinking, you know, a year from now, what did Chef Rachel say that one day about that thing with that thing? You can, if you made a copy of my slides, you can have it and go back to it and refer to it. So please check out my slides. They are there for you. They're there to help. They will always be underneath the live session archive right here. So this is right here. Your live session archive will be underneath it, and your slides will be underneath it as well. And then we have your assignment, and your assignment is a quiz. So look at that. It's going to be super easy. You can just do it all. Do your lessons, do your knowledge check, boom, get it done. And remember, you can take it as many times as you need to. So go for that 100%. Get it done. Go for gold. This will be due on Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. So do remember that this is due on Tuesday. Does anybody have any questions about that? Yes. Teresa, what is your question?
If you want to unmute yourself, you can do that and ask the question, or you can type it in the chat.
You said it was due, oh, your lessons, she was saying that your, let me pull up the page again. I have here the first attempts of lessons are due no later than August 24th because I want you guys to get a head start, get it done early. Your things will be due on Tuesday, but get that head start. I want to make certain that nobody falls behind. And if you don't do it by the 24th, I'm going to give you a phone call to make sure that everything's okay. Because I want everybody to get 100%, right? Let's get A's. Everybody get an A, right? You can do this. You guys can do this. It's a fun topic. It's menus.
If you at least give it a try the first go round by, you know, the weekend, right? Mm-hmm. You can always come back to it then come Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and give it another go at it, right? Like we said, you've got plenty of opportunities up until next Tuesday to try and get the best score possible, right? So say you got a 6 the first time. You're like, oh, man, I really bombed this one. And you want to go back to it and you get a 10 or even a 9, and you're like, okay, awesome, right? And then you go back at it to try and really get that overall 10, and you get 8. That 9 is what sticks. Okay, so don't think that like if you get a higher grade and then you're like, well, I don't know. It's not one of those leery things. It's one of those, let's just go ahead and give it another try, because that 9, no matter what, is going to stay there, right? Even if you got a 5 or a 4 or a 3 the next go round, that 9's still going to be your grade until you improve on it, okay?
Yeah, thank you, Chef. That was perfect, right? Does that make sense for everybody? Yes? Thumbs up. I'm seeing thumbs up for those who are watching the live session.
And just remember, it's open book, guys. Like, look at the lesson stuff. Go ahead and scope out the lesson stuff. Do your quiz and your lessons, 2-for-1 combo. Get it out of the way.
Exactly. Yeah, get it done. Get it done early so you can enjoy your weekend, right? Enjoy your weekend. It'll be nice. Go outside, enjoy the weather, or stay inside if it's too hot. And I'm seeing that some people have already done it, and that's awesome. And as Chef Eric said, if you don't like your score, keep on taking it over again. Now, menus. You guys tell me, what do you normally notice on a menu? And this is where you guys can talk too. I see in the chat style from Paula, how it looks, description of the food,
The size of it.
the size of it.
Itself.
Yes,
Like the dishes and everything, the different entrees and everything.
the different entrees. So seeing like the pictures, that they have a picture, right? I'm seeing pricing.
I agree with the if it's clean part.
Ooh, if
Sometimes
it's
you get handed one of those gunked up menus. Ugh.
Did you guys ever see that commercial of the wait staff who they were like smelling the menu and they're like, what's that smell? And then the waitress took the menu back and she put it right underneath her armpit, and that's what the smell was. Like, do you guys remember? I don't remember what commercial that was for. So it has to be something like Febreze or Keeping Fresh or something like that. But yeah, she stuck the menu right underneath her armpit and walked around, kind of like, you know, like say this is my menu, and I was like, yep, I'm going to my next table. So it's wearing a tank top and everything. So that smelled, right? That's bad. That's bad. So what else do you guys typically see? What do you look for in your menu? Where does your eye go? When you first sit down and you look at that menu, what do you notice first?
Prices.
What did you say, Tiffany?
Prices.
Prices. What else do you guys notice?
Pictures.
Pictures. I see a center. I see the food, specialty dishes, types of food. Chef Eric, before I forget, can you pull up that menu of the restaurant we went to? Because I almost forgot. We can show you, Chef Eric and I, we went to a restaurant. Because remember, we're both Colorado. It was, you know, at first it looked like it was going to be an okay menu. Like you're looking at it and you're like, oh, yes, this looks good. This looks good. But then it takes a turn for the worse, where you're like, oh, and that's where it's like the simplest thing can make or break your menu, right? Where you are trying to highlight this dish and it's going to be great, but you didn't highlight it the right way, so everybody misses it, right? And ooh, I'm seeing design. If it's understandable is fantastic, Joyce, because my favorite example of this is if somebody completely trusts Word document and does not have somebody actually edit it for you, and then you see, well, it's a real legit word, it's not the word that you wanted to use. For example, if you write salmon, you wanted like a salmon platter, but you spelled salmon wrong and you actually spelled Solomon. And while Solomon was he the third king of Israel, he is not going to be a tasty dish for you, right? So little things like that are going to really, really affect your menu. I know you're looking for it, chef. Just tell me when you find it. And that's when it's really important that you don't have something like this happen. And I love this picture because, you know, you have that dream of what your menu is going to look like and you describe it, but you don't describe it exactly the way it is actually going to come out, right? Because you have it in your head for so long that sometimes you can picture it beautifully, but then once you go to type it, it doesn't come out the same way, right? So don't have this happen to you with your menu. You guys see that? That's why I love this one. Right? Now.
All good, chef. I got you.
Ooh, perfect timing. Now, Chef Eric, you can go into the details. Both, where were we sitting? We were sitting at the.
It was kind of like right in front of the kitchen.
Yeah, it was kind of, it was right in front of the kitchen. Dim lighting. Think of like, you know, ambiance. You got your dim lighting going on.
Think of it's dinner time, right? So it's like all the lights turned down, right? Yeah. You know, it's like you want to have that comfort atmosphere to make you feel, you know, nice and cozy and relaxed for dinner. And sure enough, you get handed a menu that looks like this, right? And next thing you know, you're like, okay, cool. Things are looking really cool and everything like that. But remember, this is a dark area, so this menu isn't going to be nearly as bright as it is on your screen right now. Okay, so what do you think about this little box? Oh, hello, craziness. Let's see if I can get my other little gizmo. I love this pen. This pen is the bee's knees. So what do you think about this little box, right? Let's get a red color. Right here. Do you think this box would be appropriate in a very dark setting? You know, to where it's like the whole menu, lights and everything are very dim and you can't really see. Do you think that would work appropriately? Anyone?
They're shaking their heads. Yeah, they're shaking their heads no. Don't worry.
Very quiet bunch. You guys feel free to unmute yourself and shoot out. So, hey, no, that's too dark. You know, that's okay. This is a participation. This is the best way we can participate is by that wonderful little mute button. Unmute yourself and say, no, chef, that just is awful.
Because if you don't, you're going to start hearing me do a lot of Bob's Burgers, like when Bob is talking to a turkey. Yep, pretty much, where I'd be like, that's awesome, way to go, chef, way to go. You know, like you're gonna start hearing that a lot. So be certain to if you don't like Bob's Burgers and you don't want me to start talking like the turkey, you can speak up. So yeah, that little dark like box, if you want to pull it up again, Chef Eric. Yeah, it was like you just went right by it. Like you didn't even see anything was in there. And it's like, it's great that you do like those blocks and you have those pictures to, you know, break it up. But if you have the wrong color font in there, people are not going to be able to read it. And so we just blew right by it and nobody saw that. And it's not just us. I mean, there's a whole slew of us there.
Yeah, it's like 12 chefs. Nobody knew they had wings on their menu. None of us. No clue. No idea. I thought personally that those sauces, that's what brought my attention to it, was for something that was underneath it. Like that, because my eye went up and I saw sauces and I was like, choice of sauce. Okay, cool. I didn't even see wings. I didn't see 10 wings, 20 wings, even the cost. I just saw sauces that was maybe for like the salads that are on the actual menu at the establishment. Like this is the PDF version, but they still did wrong by the PDF version with this. So, it's because, I mean, even this one down here where it says add any of the following to any salad. Like, I'm not looking for that. Like, that is not something that is like attracting me, even in this computerized version for online. This isn't something that's dragging my eye there because it's very kind of like blended together. You got that darker tan color with some weird kind of, I don't know, pinstripe look thing behind it. And then like all your numbers and everything are so tiny that it all just kind of blends together and it just looks like a colored box. It's like, you're like, what is this thing? You're like, okay. And that's the only thing that you're curious about because you're like, okay, well, what exactly is this? After you've already scoped out the snacks, the appetizers, the soups, the salads, the flatbreads, everything on that top portion attracts your eye. But you can't even see this light tan. Did anybody know that you could add a grilled steak or sub-grilled steak on that full nacho? You can't even see that. That's like a big no-no.
Well, and if you notice, some of those ones that are that tan color, those are their, like they make it tan for a reason. Why do you think they made it tan for a reason?
They wanted it to pop out.
Yeah, they wanted it to pump out. They wanted your eye to go to it, but they did it in a wrong way because then you couldn't read it, right? And we're sitting there dim lit, and it's instead of just being able to comfortably look at your menu, we were all like this, and it took forever for us to read that menu. And we were legit, I felt like, I was like, do I need thicker glasses because this is just not working, right? And that right there, that can be that bad part of your customer service. That can be a moment of truth. The moment of truth for your business. So when I talk about moment of truth, that's that interaction that your establishment is having with your customer. And the first thing your customer sees is the menu. And if it's a bad looking menu, then that creates a bad moment of truth. But if you have a nice menu, it's clean, it's concise, then that's going to be that positive moment of truth that you want people to have. Because if they have a positive moment of truth, then they're going to keep on coming back to your establishment. So remember that, have that great first initial moment of truth. It all comes back to your menu. Because the first thing, I don't know about you guys, if I'm going to try out a brand new place, the first thing I do is check out the menu, right? You go online, you check out to see how it is, how it looks. That's one of the very first things I do. Now,
Yeah, Paula actually shared a menu in the link.
yeah, I actually tried to open it and I
got
could not open it. Okay, it just said
Yeah, I
username.
got it. If you want to look at it,
Yeah, let's pull it up.
there you go. Stop.
Ooh. Oh. So, what do you guys think of this menu? What are some of the issues that you come across right away? I know Sydney, Chef Sydney sees something. She has that look. Chef Sydney, what do you see? Oh. Yeah, Chef Sydney, what do you see?
First of all, I think it's a very boring menu. Like, it's just all straight and yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're kind of cracking back and forth, but like you're frozen.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Chef?
We got you. You're there.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So I personally think it's a very boring and just very plain menu. There's nothing here that draws your attention like at all. And it's just very,
It's like it's.
I don't know. I would not spend a lot of time looking at this menu whatsoever. It would not attract me in any way.
Now, what do you guys think about how they did their prices?
My question is why they put the zeros. That's what I ask.
What'd you say? Is it Aileen?
Yes, I'm saying the dollar signs, you know. Don't.
Yes, the dollar signs. You don't want to have dollar signs in there because you want people to remember, not think about the money, think about the experience they're about to have. And as you said, get rid of the dollar signs. And as Chef Eric said, why are there zeros there? Like, it's fine to have zero. Like, you can have those, you know, like it's 99, depending on the type of concept you have if you're going for that value. But for, say, you're going to be like a Michelin star rated establishment, you're not going to have anything being at $8.99, right? You're going to have that be at that 15, 20, 30, 40, 55 number.
Here's another thing right here, Chef. So, you know, talking about that wording. So super family pack, you get one butt, two quart sized sides, 8 buns. Like, if I'm gonna tell you that you get, I'm gonna put like one pulled pork butt or something like that on that. Not, hey, you get one butt. You know, it's like, that just kind of sounds a little weird. You know, I don't know about y'all, but it sounds very weird to me to have to read this aloud and say, hey, you get one butt for your family.
And this is where editing, having your friend edit your work really comes in handy. Now, what do you guys think of the different colors they used here? What do you guys think about that?
Very boring.
What did you say, Susan?
Very boring.
Very boring. Yeah, what else?
Yeah. It doesn't even want. You don't want to look at it. It's that boring.
Yeah, and some put too many, and it's even too many, but it's not done well, right? Because you have your prices a completely different color. You don't want to have your prices a completely different color because that's the first thing that attracts your eye. I didn't even look at what the food was or the description. I went straight and looked at the menu prices. Paula, what's your question?
That's the menu that's online. The actual menu in the store is the other link that I sent. It's worse than that. That right there is something new. The other one is their new in-store menu. Black and white, plain. It's horrible.
Let's see if I can bring that one up.
I started talking and realized I'm muted. And while you bring that up, I want you guys to remember that your menu is really, really important because that's one of the top things that you're gonna want to figure out. You're gonna want to first figure out what your concept's gonna be, right? That's the top thing. What is your concept? What are you going for? And then what's your menu? Because once you figure out what your menu is, then you can figure out how much labor do I need to actually make this menu happen? How much are my food costs going to be? Because my food cost is going to vary. Say if I'm buying everything from that like Shamrock, Cisco, US Foods type of place versus I'm gonna get everything from the farmer, right? What's my environment going to look like? Am I gonna be a fast casual? Am I gonna make my wait staff do actual like table side Caesar salad, make it right there and do bananas Fosters, have a pretty woman moment when she's at the super fancy establishment? Or are you going to have your utensils and everything rolled up in a napkin and they take everything with them to the place they're gonna eat, that kind of thing. So figuring out your menu is really, really important step because then it can help put everything into place. Then you can figure out what type of, like, this is the menu I'm gonna do. How is it gonna be the best suited for my customer to actually have a great experience? Chef Eric, were you actually able to pull that up?
You know me, I'm Mr. Tech Genie over here, and I find ways around stuff.
Yeah. Well, while you keep on working, I'm going to pull this bad boy up. And this is what I've been talking about, which is your customers' expectations. Did you actually meet your customers' expectations? Because we have the tangibles, which is things that you can touch. So what are some things that you guys can touch? What do you guys think? What are items that you can touch in a restaurant?
The menu, the food.
Yeah, the menu, your food, your silverware, the like tables, chairs, all of that stuff. That is part of that tangibles. And then your intangibles are those things that you cannot touch. So like the experience, those memories that you're building, that customer service. And for us in our industry, you have to combine those to create the product. And if you have a
so come on.
not going to be great, right? Chef Eric, I'm guessing you found it before. Yep. All right, cool. Pull it up.
Now that's boring. That's even more boring than that colorful one that actually is orange. First thing I see is two little pigs at the top with the name, and then it gets organized in a certain fashion with the hot dogs, but the font's a little indifferent.
Yeah, the first thing I noticed was how all the prices are not at the same spot. So at the very bottom, like the meats, it says Boston butt. Yeah, and it's like one space over, and then you have your quarter pulled pork, and that's one space over, and then that $11. Yeah, like that would drive me insane.
You and me both, Chef. Our OCD with organizational columns and things like that and spreadsheets. Yep, I'm right there. That's what got me with the left-hand side there, though, is that it kind of swerves, and then it's got the pot-belly pig kind of motion and then comes back in again. Where, like, over there by the hamburgers, it kind of goes to the left and then comes back. It's just kind of like, woo, swervy.
Yes, and somebody said no Heath in the chat said no description of the food, and that is correct. You really have to be careful. Like, it's important to have that clear, concise type of description that you're going to do, because if this is a sit-down place, your wait staff is going to be at that table forever explaining your menu. And not only are you going to make the customer unhappy, but you're going to make your wait staff unhappy, because they are wasting time talking about a menu that it should have been in a description.
What do you all think about this one? This one's a little busy. It's got a lot of flair going on here.
Yeah, it does.
Too many colors.
Yeah.
I can't rotate it. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Half of it's going the wrong way anyway.
In truth, right? Like desserts. Like, what is that? That's just, you couldn't fit it in, so you decided to squeeze in the word desserts right underneath family pack. So do I get a family pack dessert? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's too much going on, right? And nobody knows where to actually look. And it's going to take longer for your customer to actually figure out what they're going to eat. And if it takes longer for your customer to figure out what you're going to eat, they're going to be at that table longer, which meaning if they're there just for 5 minutes longer because they had to look at this thing, then those 5 minutes for every single table add up, and those are missed opportunities for more people to be sitting and eating at your establishment that you did not do. Now,
I think I got a kink in my net from looking at that one.
now, there are different types of menus for you guys. There are definitely different types. So we have, like, this one here is your a la carte menu. So things are sold separately. That's what a la carte means. So you're going to see this like at a coffee shop. So you can order a coffee, and then you can get a pastry, and then you can get a cookie or one of those, cake pop things, right? This is that version of your, right here is your a la carte. Then, and you notice I gave you guys also the links down below, so you guys could check this out further. Then we have this one, and I always say it wrong every time. So if Chef Eric or Chef Sydney remembers how to say it correctly, but it's that, where'd it go? There it is. That table d'hôte.
Yep.
Okay, yes. Chef Sydney is shaking her head yes. Or it's called that prefixed menu. So that means that you are getting, these are the items that you are getting, and you are paying that price for these options. And this one you'll definitely notice more for, say, like a seasonal menu. I have a place, like I know a place up here in northern Colorado where it's pretty much whatever is coming off the farm. That is what their menu is going to be for the night. They make that creation, and people pay a flat price, and this is what they get. That's your prefix style menu. Now, then we have a limited menu. So your limited menu, like this one, you have combo A or combo B, one or the other. That's all you get, right? So it's limited. It's not going to be that crazy big, it's like Perkins, Denny's style menu where there's a million different options. It's smaller. And this one I tend to notice is really, really nice for that smaller style restaurant, because if your staff is making these items and it's just a few of them, you know they're going to do a really good job of making all of those items. As Kimberly said, better food on the limited menu. And as Chef Eric said in the chat, better quality for sure. Right, Chef?
Oh, yeah, times a million. You know, it's like, can you imagine those guys at Denny's, right? And having a little bit more sophisticated menu than Denny's, and the quality that they have to give, because they have to try, and those chefs and those line cooks back in the kitchen have to try and memorize how to make 100 different items on a, you know, Denny's menu, as to where if you only give your staff 10, 15 menu items that they have to try and remember how to make, they're going to make those, and they're going to take their time, and they're going to put that love and effort into it. As to where those people that have to try and remember 100 different menu items on a daily basis, they're just going to start slinging food. They're going to be like, all right, here you go, guys. Here's some food. Oh, sorry, it came back. All right, here's another one. Oh, that came back again, like my experience at TGI Fridays.
Now, and if that's what you want your concept to be, that is completely fine. That's your concept, that's your dream, totally fine. But this is where you really need to know what you want to do, right? Do you want to say, I'm going to do that style menu where there's more things, and it's going to be like, I'm going to become a franchise, like, you know, your end goal is to be a franchise, that's what you want, then great. But if you know that you want to have more of that farm to table experience, then yeah, you're going to want to do more of that limited menu. And you're going to see as we go through, nowadays it's more of that hybrid, right? You're going to see more of that hybrid style menu where they may have that a la carte options for, say, your sides, but then it's a limited menu. So you'll definitely see that nowadays where it's not just one or the other. But we also have, you guys remember good old cafeterias in school? You guys remember those? Cafeteria, lunch lady, lunch workers. I just think lunch lady Adam Sandler from SNL. And so you have your cycle menus. That means this is what you're getting. It's preset, and it's like your cafeteria food, right? You're gonna see it at a hospital. You're gonna see it at you're gonna see it at schools, that kind of thing. Then we have the California menu. So that California menu is kind of, actually, I don't know if does Perkins do breakfast all day? Do they do that all day?
I don't know. I haven't been to a Perkins. I can't even say that I've even been to a Perkins ever.
Yeah. Well, it's that menu in which you can order, you know, like you can get that breakfast at dinner time if you want to.
Kind of like Mamma Mia's. Is that what that is? Have you
Yeah.
ever been to Mamma Mia's?
I haven't been to Mamma Mia's, or like a Denny's, right? You can
Yeah.
get that, you can get pancakes at, you know, 10
Yeah,
p.m. if you want.
Crackle Barrel, IHOP, those
Mhm.
types of places.
Waffle House.
Ooh, Waffle House. Thank you. I love
Ooh,
Waffle
I heart
House.
love Waffle House.
Waffle House. I mean, how cool is Waffle House to be a restaurant in which the government uses the Waffle House index to really make sure that everybody is okay if there's like a national disaster. They go off of you, like the company. Like, that's brilliant. Like, I love that. They have the Waffle House index. If you haven't heard of it, look it up, and I'll even put you a link on it to explain it, because I was like, man, such a cool thing. You have your policies and procedures in place so well that the government uses it as a tool to see who needs help and who doesn't. Like, beautiful. And then we have the good old du jour menus, and you're gonna see these in like your, like, you know, your bakeries, your food trucks, that type of thing. And please remember that du jour means today. And so I definitely worked at a place where they did today's soup du jour. And if you actually translate it, they said today's soup today. So don't make that mistake if you're going to use, you know, like French wording or whatever type of wording. You really want to make certain you have the translation down and that you don't do today's soup today. Because that wouldn't be fun, right? And then want to double check to remind everybody that your assignment is due on Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. But I also wanted to go back.
Oh, Mr. Jones.
Yes. I have these right here. Ta-da. Let me pull up their menu. Where's their menu? We'll do breakfast, lunch, dinner. What are you guys feeling look like?
Oh, I heart breakfast all day, every day.
Okay. So this is what they have on their items. What do you guys think of this menu?
Well, once again, with that whole $ deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have that $ problem right there, right?
Now you're lining up between where you put your price is getting me there too. If you scroll back up a little bit there, Chef.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like right here.
Kind of starts to kind of, yeah, well, what is that? Why?
Yeah, right. Now, in this one, and it's interesting because it's such a pretty picture, right? It's such a pretty picture, but then it kind of gets lost. Like the text gets lost in between, right? And this is where you have those good intentions, but sometimes something like this happens. Right, Chef Sydney? You have a look like you want to say something.
I do, but I actually want to say something about one of the items that's a little further up. If you would scroll up just real quick where it says French burritos. Like my thing here is I'm seeing a lot of like kind of like a French style, maybe something a little nicer, a little more delicate, but then I see burrito and I immediately start thinking Mexican food. I mean, maybe it's just me because I'm way down south here in Texas, but it just kind of seems like it throws the whole what's the word I'm looking for? Like maybe the type of food that they're trying to present off.
Yeah,
Like
the concept.
That's what threw me off. Yes, the concept. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah, it starts off as kind of like
it's stuck.
yeah, it looks like a French bakery to start, and you're like, ooh, elegance and beauty, and you're like, okay, you kind of get this impression. Then all of a sudden, you're like, French burrito, huh? Whoa, you're throwing in a burrito in a French joint? Kind of confusing. You know, it's like now all of a sudden we went Hispanic, and like, I understand it's the demographic, especially here for Fort Collins, but that's just a little threw me off there too.
Well, and that's where it's kind of that they're trying to do that fusion, but they kind of went the wrong way with it, right? Where they tried to make it like, oh, we're going to do this fusion and it's going to be great, but they didn't quite get it right. Not like this guy who is that Korean taco, Korean.
Oh yeah, the Korean food truck.
Yes,
Food truck. Yeah.
the Korean barbecue taco truck, where he has the tacos and then he like puts kimchi on it, those kind of things. But even then, they still do the dollar signs. But that's where you kind of look where you're like, man, you're such a cool place, but you put dollar signs on your stuff. Why did you do the dollar signs?
It's a very busy menu.
It is a very busy menu. I haven't seen this for a while. I think this is new.
That looks delicious, though.
Yeah. But
You're making me hungry.
well, I'm guessing all of your classes really do that, right?
Well, it's
So,
very
Chef,
few and far between
Teresa asked in a question in the chat, great question as well. Why are dollar signs bad?
So remember, and it does depend on your type of concept. If you want people to know that you're doing a value, you typically will show that dollar sign, right? You have that like 99 cents, that type of thing. But if you're a high-end establishment, you don't like when people see that dollar sign, they automatically signify money with that, right? And you don't want people thinking about money. You want them to think about the experience they're going to have, those memories that they are going to create sitting in your establishment eating your food. So that's why you tend to see that like you try to stay away from those dollar signs, especially the high, like if you're doing a nicer establishment, because you want people to focus on your actual menu, your like what the food is you have to offer. Now you're gonna see like good old, like I'm going to say McDonald's, right? McDonald's, they're going to be the kind of place that they're going to have dollar signs, right? Because they are showing that their concept is fast. You're going to get it fast. It's going to be like filling, It's like filling, but it's a lot of like, not good filling, because it's the like greasiness and stuff like that. But it's fast and you're getting a value. And if you want people to know that you have a value, then it is fine to use dollar signs. But if you want people to think about that experience and really have that moment of looking at your menu and not focusing on that dollar and give those different items a chance, then you typically stay away from dollar signs.
You know what's interesting, Chef, that you bring up McDonald's having the dollar signs as to where they do it only in their actual advertisements. You know what I mean? Like for like as in like a picture or a structure and things like that. Because I was like, okay, I want to see this dollar menu again and see if they got the dollar signs. They don't even have the dollars on there themselves.
Oh, they don't anymore?
Mm-mm.
Oh, look at that. See, this is how much I eat.
Yeah, me too. That's why I had to look it up. I don't eat McDonald's, as to where. So if you look here, so they're just solid numbers as well. But mind you, is like that their pricing is all over the board as to where they don't really do, even a dollar menu anymore isn't even just $1. Your milk is.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say if it's like dollar menu, you always think you're gonna have
It used to be the $0.99 sort of circumstance to where don't worry about it, save your penny, it's only 99 cents kind of idea, dollar menu, right? But now nothing's $1 anymore. It's a shame.
Yeah, right? So, do you guys have any questions? Any questions? No? Now, what are you guys going to do? What are you going to do when we get done?
My knowledge check, Chef.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Bob's Burgers Turkey. Over there. So you're going to eat, yes. You're going to do your lessons. You're going to get your assignment done, right? If you have any questions, please let me or Chef Eric or Chef Sydney know. And Teresa said in the chat, it seems kind of nitpicky, but remember, this is your concept. So what do you want to focus on? And your menu is that really important aspect of it. And if you want to have your concept be a food truck versus a Michelin star rated establishment versus a speakeasy, the little details are going to matter, because remember, this is going to be your baby, right? This is your baby, and no one's going to love your baby as much as you do. So how are you going to get those people in the door is going to matter. And this is why I love this class, because now in the following weeks, we get to talk about like the psychology, because there's an entire science around this, like how to get people into the door by looking at your menu. What do they focus on? And that's the fun stuff that we get to talk about in this class following up. So I hope I get to see everybody next Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to have fun. We're going to do more talking, right? We're going to talk. It's going to be awesome. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear it. And then if you guys have any questions, please let us know. And I hope everybody has a great night. And go in. Next time I see you guys, next time we come for a live session, I want you guys to check out the menus. If you go out anywhere, if you do anything. And then I want to know where your eye focused on. Did you think it was a good menu? Did you think it was an okay menu? Did you think it was an awesome menu? Okay. And if you have it and you took a picture of it, put it in the class cafe so we can keep the conversation going, right? All right, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye,
Chef.
everyone.